Because there's actually, so that people don't block this intersection.
I see.
So she was actually doing what she's. But you can go through when there's room up there, and then we're gonna get behind that.
Now turn left onto Holly Ridge Drive.
Turn right.
Turn
Yeah,
right,
it's.
Now turn right onto Glenwood Avenue.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and let it do its thing starting here.
Does it turn right on red?
I don't know. I don't think it can right now because the B pillar is the side camera and it can't see because of that car.
So, have you tried zooming around?
Mm-mm. Zoom out. That's pretty crazy.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, so you can see like where it's blind, where it starts picking things up,
This
doing
car
that.
is blocking it.
Right, totally makes sense.
So it's not going to even try to turn right on red.
It's okay.
The other thing I've
As a
noticed-
human, it would be pretty aggressive to do it right now anyway.
Other thing I've noticed is when holding the steering wheel, when I was driving earlier today, I would accidentally disengage it multiple times because
It's really
can I just step on
sensitive.
the accelerator and tell it to turn? Yeah, I can.
How about that?
Look at that.
Oh, sweet.
I can tell it, oh, you know, just go by touching the accelerator. Look,
There we
it
go.
didn't break up.
Through a red light.
Mhm.
Now,
But I
were
mean,
you
it
on the
could-
accelerator the whole time through the intersection, or did you just tap
No,
it and
I
then
just
it took
tapped
over?
it and then took off. And
That's-
as soon as the nose got out into the road, I let go and it kept going.
That's fantastic. Do you have to do confirmation
No.
for? Because that would seem pretty strange. So one of the things that we're going to come up on when we cross in front of Crabtree Mall is you end up with extra lanes for ending up on the belt line, which we're not going to take. And so that's going to be very interesting to see how it decides what lane to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a human driver, as soon as I thought that I wouldn't be blocking other traffic, I'd be getting in what is the middle lane right now. But like I said, it'll be interesting to see when it decides to move over. Now, one of the nice things, it's 5:15 p.m. on a Saturday. We don't have mall traffic. We don't have rush hour traffic or anything like that to deal with. I mean, there are times where it's nothing but cars right here. So this is more a test of pathfinding decisions without too many traffic challenges, and I think that that's actually a really good way to start too. You have what is your VIN?
5,000.
5,000.
It's a January 2018 build.
Now, do you have the old springs or the new
Yes.
springs? Yeah. So
They changed right after we got ours, so we have the old. You know, it's like riding on cinder blocks sometimes.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's a rough ride.
I can feel. You know what this reminds me of? It's in the back.
Yep.
It reminds me of the Performance Model Y that I test drove for 15 whole minutes. So, it normally does okay with this intersection. It's a pretty broad intersection, but we have a car that we're following. But you can already see what I'm talking about with the lanes. Now we are actually in an exit lane. We have time to get over, but if it were very trafficky, it could, you know, people won't let you over. And so that's why I say that by the time we get to this light, as a human driver, I'd be one lane over. But we will just let this thing wig out and see what it decides to do. So there are big vehicles coming through that we can see with our eyes. I'm gonna pinch out again and see. Now this doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't see the traffic coming from over there. One of the things about these cameras is they're higher than us.
That's true, yeah.
So anything that we could see over rooftops, it should be able to see also. At some point, for this to be the safest way of driving, it will need to be able to look through the glass of other vehicles to see cars.
All right, here we go.
As a human driver does.
And there's a lot of traffic in the left lane here, so
just well, you know
over.
what? The worst case scenario, we end up on the exit, right?
Okay.
So
no,
it's not
on the exit
if it can't get over. Let's just see what happens, okay? Because we do have time. And this is where, you know, just regular navigate on autopilot. I don't do. That's right. It should be, again, a human driver would be like, no, I need to get over now. Now, it might do this because of the slow traffic. But you can see, we are now in a line of cars stopped because they want to be in this lane to go.
Yeah, there's no reason
right
for us
eventually.
to be stopped.
There is none. So this is not an unsafe decision. It's just not an efficient decision.
Exactly.
But so far, it hasn't really felt different to me than regular autopilot with intersection control.
Kyle.
Yeah, and that's...
Hey, Kyle.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. We're recording a video right now with
I
Cameron.
am so sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. This is actually fun.
How's it going? Isn't that a pretty cool system?
Well, we've been in it for been watching it for 5 minutes. So it is really, really cool to be able to see what it sees in intersections when you pinch to zoom out is actually really cool. Access program.
All right, hold on one second.
Okay.
We're going.
All right, so we've got a decision here. The car needs to get left, and it's not yet.
Getting left.
It's not yet, and this is like standard navigate on autopilot, really not figuring things out.
So maybe this is
All
less.
right, I'll let you guys go have fun.
Okay, thanks a lot. Good talking to you, Kyle.
Maybe we can see the car sooner than Monday is kind of what I'm
Yeah.
get a video out. But you guys enjoy.
Okay.
So it really needs to be getting over now.
So I'm wondering maybe the navigation really hasn't changed, and it's.
All right, you can bail. I would bail. Get left.
Oh, now it's got the blinker on.
Oh, it's doing it itself?
Nope.
All right.
I bailed.
That's okay.
It wanted to, but it couldn't because
It wasn't. Yeah, it was.
That car was approaching.
Yeah.
Quick, so
Yeah.
it couldn't do it. It waited till the very last minute. To
No,
decide
that
it
is.
wanted to do it.
And the thing about it is that's navigate on autopilot makes those same kinds of decisions. That's why I don't actually use it very often at all. I only use it for making videos on it.
So this very well could be using the same lane choosing.
That's right.
devices that are already
That's
built
right.
into navigate on autopilot, and just overlaying the new vision code to actually move the car.
What is interesting is that it continues to put that stopping for traffic control when there's no value to the driver for that coming up in this mode.
Well, it is very beta, so
That's right.
They're going to change things quite a bit.
That's right.
Between now and when they release it. Yeah, stopping for traffic control.
So it is back to early intersection control, kind of pumping the brakes, because it seems like that has smoothed out on my car. Did it decide? Was it starting to go left and then it
thinking about changing lanes.
Okay.
But then changed its mind. I don't know if it's because the car in front was going too slow or what.
Now, what's interesting here is in my standard animations. Well, okay, so I'm starting to see it again, but it just seems like I see the car in front of the car in front of me much more frequently in my standard animations. then this is showing. It's showing it now. I mean, shut my mouth, right? You bring something up and then it doesn't do it. It also does a lot more micro corrections within the lane.
Well, it's always done the micro corrections.
Well, recently, when I got to 40, it really got rid of micro corrections for me.
Okay.
Even on side roads. So when we come up here around this curve, it's going to drop down to 35 miles an hour. Right there's the sign. We should just let it do 35 miles an hour to see what it does without breaking the law. But we'll probably very quickly become the slowest car on this section of road.
This will let me go 5 over.
But that's okay. Let's see what it does without breaking the law, right? Like even though 5 over, nobody's going to pull you over. And then coming up here, one of the nice things about this testing is you can start parking in this lane.
Okay.
So there will be cars parked in this lane. And it'll be interesting to see if it pulls over. We got a little bit of time before that. It's one of the reasons why I like this as kind of a testing. Whoa! A little bit of pucker factor with the rims there. Why is it so close to the curb here?
It just wants to hug the curb.
It really, really does. Standard Autopilot does not do this. Now, this is your car, Zeb. So at any moment, I want you to take over. Okay? So you can see where the cars are starting to turn their blinkers on.
See.
So let's see. We only have like a car behind us.
Well, it's coming out.
But if we have to stop behind this and then manually take over to get around, it's not going to be dangerous. So let's see if it decides. Okay, so what it thinks is happening is that this car is stopped for the stop sign.
Oh, I think I pulled too hard on it.
Oh, that's okay. So let's just manually get around it and then reactivate it. But it looked like it was going to stop because it was seeing the traffic light off in the distance, and it seemed that it was treating that as a car that might have been stopped in a line for this. So this intersection is known as 5 points because it's got 5 different directions of roads coming in here. And you can see it's very wide, but it does have a lane line going through the intersection on the right. And standard Autopilot, oh there, right, yeah. So standard Autopilot has been pretty good with this intersection lately.
I did that perfectly.
Great.
Yeah, that was back there where I was saying that it's much more sensitive in this mode to pulling on the steering wheel.
So that is a good observation.
Yeah, so the multiple times I've disengaged without meaning to because I just barely pull on it and disengages.
Yes, because one of the issues with the handoff is it goes from no power steering basically to full power steering, and you get that little womp or whatever, but it doesn't seem to be doing that.
No, you just barely tug on it and it pulls it out. Yeah, earlier today when I was approaching bicyclists, I would tense up.
Oh my gosh, yes.
When I tense up, sometimes it would pop it out of autopilot, full self-driving mode, because I was pulling too hard on it. But nowhere near hard enough to pull it out of autopilot, regular autopilot.
So we are coming up again. There's going to be a point where we want to stay in this lane, But you see how these curbs kind of stick out right there, and you can see tire marks? Well, one of these kinds of sticks out, and regular autopilot tends to aim for it. It's not this one. It might be the next one. But again, just don't wreck your car trying to test this. No, it's not this one. It's this one right here. That was great.
Yep.
But you saw all of the, I mean, there
saw
were
the tire marks.
chunks taken out of it. Now, standard autopilot never gets this intersection right because the lanes shift. So we'll be following a car, but if you go straight, you're in the wrong lane. Okay, so it didn't do it. That's all right.
I might have pulled it. See,
you did correctly though. It was not going to be in the correct lane.
Yeah, but I didn't mean to. I was gonna let it do its thing.
It was just gonna go into that. So
I'm gonna just hold it with my fingers this time.
So this is Glenwood South. This is COVID Social Central in Raleigh. Not a lot of mask wearing, a lot of people walking around together. But we're coming up on Hillsborough, and see, it's gonna stop right there. So is it gonna keep going?
Well, it'll stop because that's where the navigation ends. If you cancel it,
okay, and then
probably just keep going straight.
Well, I'm gonna do PNC Arena on Blue Ridge Road. Perfect. Okay, that's what we want.
Oh, big bumps.
Okay, it should not be turning right there. Let's see what it does.
Okay.
It should be going straight through this intersection.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
And it's still going straight, but it's. Did you turn the signal up?
Back on again.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it should just keep going
straight signal. Oh, there, it turned itself off. Okay, it's not perfect.
No. It's very interesting. The mistakes it makes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you want to tease, like, what is it thinking? But of course, it's not making. This is driving like an old person.
I'm gonna keep turning the blinkers off as soon as they come on.
Okay, all right.
That's gonna confuse the drivers.
So here we've got a traffic circle. So regular autopilot cannot take these.
Now enter the roundabout.
They are small though, so
foot over brake.
That's right. All right, it should go.
Go.
Whoa! Did that do it on its own?
I was because there's somebody behind me waiting, so I enticed it.
All right, but at least it took the path through fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been through several traffic circles with it.
But these are okay. So these are too small. These are engineered too small. In fact, these were so small when they originally made them that the free buses, shuttle buses for NC State, which is right here, couldn't get around them.
Yeah, that was.
So
let's see how it does this.
So far, so good. Hey, it did it. That was great. That was perfect. Still kind of hugs some parked cars. Wow, that was pucker inducing. Now we might also get some pedestrian challenges, and of course we'll be more conservative with that.
Very much so.
But this is NC State, and even though they don't have in-person classes right now, a lot of students are still here, living off campus, and all these places are open for them and the people that just live down here.
You can see all the people walking in the animation.
What is she doing?
You can see her in the animation.
this is great, but one of the things that most human drivers would not do is necessarily do 35, even though it's the speed limit here. So just be cautious that people.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, I do that anyway. Even in my autopilot test, that's what I do. I do drop it down to 30. Cause it's just the speed limit is actually too fast for all of the traffic and people. All right,
Well,
another
really,
traffic circle.
People coming popping out from behind.
Another okay, so far so good.
Yeah, I might have to tell it to go. No,
It's blue,
nope.
blue, yeah. Okay, so turn.
All right.
The car behind us thinks you're an idiot. Oh my gosh. Oh.
In 500 feet, enter the roundabout and take the second exit.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
it's
first
up
time
to you whether you're gonna what you
that's
want to do.
That's the first time it's
So
ever...
we got because we have another one. This
Yeah.
is the last one.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you should.
It was
just...
trying to yank the steering wheel and I was holding it too stiff. So it just yanked itself back out.
Okay, we got a jaywalker with a plunger. definitely don't want to mess with the guy that's walking around with the plunger. Sure hope that's a clean plunger.
In 500 feet, enter the roundabout and take the second exit.
Oh, there's one more. Shut my mouth.
Now
There is
enter the
one more
and take
roundabout.
the second exit.
Come on. This should be an easy one.
You can go, car. Go on.
There's the blue. It sees the pedestrians. It's not hitting the circle in the middle. Good. Well, that was pretty good, except for that one. And I think from my memory, I don't think it had a yellow paint line around it, whereas that last one did.
Okay.
So
But still,
that might
it
be
just
the
seems-
difference.